Welcome back to a new video. So in this workout I did some block work, and I guess technically it was low block work, but you can kind of see that the bar is kind of right at my patella. It was actually kind of resting against it when I would start, or at least when I was getting ready to start. But I decided just to try this position. You see I had the rubber mats there. Those were left over from the flooring, and ended up getting a refund for the other two big pieces that never came. So I'm just going to kind of leave the floor, or leave the platform how it is, which it should be fine. I don't use that back area. The only time a bar would be there is if it missed behind me, and you know, it is what it is if it goes back there. But I suppose maybe I could use that for some deficit pulls, but it might be a little too close to that shelf. Anywho, these little pieces of rubber are kind of nice because they will protect the blocks a little bit, because they are 3/4 of an inch thick, so they are quite dense. I don't know if they'll do a perfect job of that, but they seem to be working pretty well. I'm not going to nail them down or anything to any specific piece of wood, just so I can use the different heights. But I wanted to do some block work. I had been thinking about this for the last couple days. I just hadn't done it in a while, and you can see there I was able to push up to 115. It actually felt like a really natural position to pull right below the kneecaps, like right at that patella, and I don't really know why, but just happened to be. And the clean jerks went all right. The cleans felt decent, but you can kind of see on the jerks that my back leg is kind of very straight, and that is a lot of it's me just trying to protect that hip, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. It's slowly getting to the point where I kind of have a more natural bend after this workout, and you kind of see that my weights just push forward, and I'm just apprehensive about putting weight on it. But the actual cleans I was quite happy with. They felt natural, and normally from the blocks they feel absolutely horrendous, but here I was pretty happy with the jerk. I believe after this I made a pretty big jump up, and I was also doing the front squat. I forgot to mention that as well. So I do the block clean front squat and then the jerk. I took a pretty big jump up here to 145. I was like, the first one I was like, well, if I missed a jerk, at least I did a clean and a front squat, and that was kind of my mindset. And I think this one was closer, but I was pretty gassed from trying it. And then the second one, I clarked the jerk. Yeah, I mean, like, it wasn't that good of an attempt, but it is what it is. And I was originally just going to do just a clean a jerk and not do the front squat. But once I got set up, I was like, well, I don't really care about the jerk today. I just want to get that front squat in. And I decided to kind of try the jerk, because you can see here I just kind of clarked it. And I got the goal of what I wanted on this day, which was the clean and that front squat. The jerks were just bonus. After this, I was actually able to do some front squats, so this kind of tells you where the recovery of my hips is going in a positive direction. I was able to do squats after doing more squats, or I guess previously doing squats with a clean front squat and jerk. I don't know why I'm getting dinged on my phone, but worked up to here from 102 to 125, then took a pretty big jump after this rep to 150. 150 felt pretty difficult. It moved fine looking back at it at the video, but feeling it when I was lifting it, it felt more difficult. And I decided to do something I saw from Catalyst Athletics, and I think probably most people who've done weightlifting have kind of done this at some point. And I know I've done this with a lot of, like, I've done like strict press to push press to jerks, or to like power jerks to jerks, like a normal progression to where it goes from a lighter weight that you're doing with an exercise to a heavier weight. And then here I worked to a quote-unquote max in the front squat, or something that felt difficult, and then did 2 sets of 5 of back squats after. The very first rep of this first set, I was so far forward, felt really weird, but I was able to correct it on the other ones, and the rest of the reps felt decent. They weren't feeling great. You see here, it's not like they're moving bad or anything, but it's just a little bit uncomfortable. And thankfully, a lot of the discomfort that I'm having now is more of like a soreness. When I was first experiencing it, it was more like more of a sharp pain, but now it's more of like a sore muscle, I suppose, is an easier way to describe it. So it's much more manageable, and it's much more like I'm able to do these sets here and not die. After I decided to do an exercise I haven't done in a while, just some good mornings, just with 60 kilos, because I haven't done this exercise in a very long time. So I actually got pretty sore from this, from doing these. But pretty easy to do. Obviously my posterior chain is pretty good. I wanted to kind of use this as just a variation and just some sort of different kind of hip hinge, and to see how they would feel the next day. I was trying to do them kind of like the Iron Mind strat of kind of explosively on the way up, but I'm not too worried about loading these up. I know in the past I would do like a low bar position when I first started lifting. I had like a low bar position on these and I was able to load them up very heavy. And I suppose there might be some utility into that, but it's just more of a stretch than anything. And because my body is kind of built for posterior chain exercises, I'm not worried about, building a good giant good morning. But it is kind of nice to throw in a random exercise like that every once in a while. But continuing to build. As you saw, the snatches went pretty well on this day. Clean jerks, it went as well as I expected. It was more like I wasn't even really thinking of trying to even do jerks anyway. I just wanted to do clean front squats, how I had done previously. So the fact that I was even willing to try jerks is just a sign of progress. But everything's moving in the right direction. It's just chipping away and feeling a little bit better each day, and just trying to build strength back up, because that's the biggest thing that you lose when you get an injury. Is just that top end strength. And so I'm trying to build that back up and just trying to work on technical things as I'm building up. So hopefully I'll get a little bit better and a little bit stronger each day, but that's the goal. Anywho, I'll talk to you all in the next video, and I hope you all have a great day. Peace.